Welcome to Marshmellow Reads. I'm Marcy, and today I'm going to get to tell you about the worst books I read in 2021. Overall, there were a lot of disappointing mystery thrillers. That's tended to be a theme in this list. And again, this is just my opinion. If any of these worked out for you, fantastic. And except for the very worst two, I would say, everything else are just in a vague order of meh. At number 10, I have Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. I am conflicted about this one. I've been thinking about it more and more, and I honestly am interested in maybe revisiting this series, but I'm honestly not sure. While I liked the relationship between Lei and Ren, and I understand that these books, especially this first one, is meant to be a story about survivors of sexual violence who are able to reclaim their lives and destiny. But it was such a tough read that it was hard. It was hard to get through, and I think that maybe I could have gotten past the subject matter, but in addition to the predatory animal demons, it just tipped it over the edge for me, and that's why it's number 10 on this list. Honestly, not a bad book, just not necessarily for me. Number 9, The King of Crows by Lukrembo. This was such a disappointing end to this series. It was, oh my gosh, the first 3 books, fantastic, amazing, so much potential. And then the 4th book just dumped on it. I would say that this series was best when the characters were together and able to play off each other's unique personalities. But for the vast majority of this last book that was pretty chonky, they were scattered. The characters were in 3 different groups, and the result was a pretty lackluster conclusion. I still really liked those previous 3 books, and I may want to reread them in the future, but I need some time to heal. Number 8, I have the Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This was an objectively fine book, but it just wasn't what I wanted for the 2nd volume in this series. I had so much fun with the Inheritance games. I almost put it on my favorites list, but this one, why? What happened? I got whiplash from Avery switching her love interest between Grayson and Jameson, and I got so tired of the soap opera levels of secret relative revelations. It was just so meh. I'm still excited for the 3rd book, but this one was disappointing. At number 7, I have The Grace Year by Kim Leggett. This book was a piece of burnt toast. Let me explain. It set out to be just one of many uninspired teen feminist dystopian novels. That's the toast part. But it failed, which makes it burnt toast. It was pro-woman, but really only if you were cis-het, you know? And it also positively portrayed a 16, 17-year-old girl and an adult man in a relationship who was several years older than her. They portrayed that as a good thing. Just gross. Get me out of here. I should not have listened to TikTok on this one. That's on me. Number 6, Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. This was a fairly fun time loop story set around Valentine's Day, but that was kind of the most interesting part of the story. The main girl, Sam, she has to learn how to not be a dick to her fellow classmates. She and her other mean girl troupe, they just suck ass. They make other students' lives living hell at the school, and I honestly did not believe that Sam was able to make that much of a difference in her personality. It was like a 180-degree switch in just 7 days worth of repeats. It didn't seem plausible to me, and I was not really connected with it. Number 5, The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I was excited about this dark academia mystery thriller. But honestly, the end product was pretty forgettable, and it had nothing to say about society, culture, nothing, not even the individual characters in the story. I honestly don't remember much about it. Yeah. Number 4, Every Last Fear by Alex Finley. I thought that the setup was fine. The eldest brother of this family is in jail for a murder that he committed in high school, but maybe he didn't actually do it. But all the steps to get to the answer of this mystery just felt weightless and boring. Number 3 is The Vein by Elliot Rahal. While I liked the vampires in this story, and I think I could have grown more fond of them over time, given the right story. That's the thing, though. It wasn't this story, though. Like, it overall was a boring romp through time. Like, I think it started maybe in, like, World War II or something. These vampires were, like, kind of being chased down by some government agency, and they kept getting away. But neither the vampire story nor the Fed agent story was very much of anything that was interesting. Like, it just felt so lifeless. Not even a pun. Number 2, somewhat polarizing, maybe controversial opinion here, is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This one still triggers me, honestly. A woman hired to complete the remaining books in a successful series. She's hired on because the original writer is injured / like in a coma and unable to finish the stories herself. So, okay, that's a fine concept so far. But during the time that the main character is in the writer's house, the writer is like in a room upstairs, like in her own like mini hospital room, and she's working in her office downstairs. She discovers a damning manuscript and also starts developing feelings for the writer's husband. And also, their kid is still living with them too, like a young kid. Like, again, the original writer and wife is still in the house. Like, she's still alive, she's still around. Like, there are some pretty dumb twists and turns, and just overall, everyone just needs to communicate better. And here it is, the number 1 worst book I read in 2021. Also was one of the first books I read in 2021, The Good Neighbor by A.J. Banner. This is complete trash. I don't say that often, but this sucked. I am telling you. Look at me. Look at me. Do not read this book. Do not waste your time. If you do end up reading it, you will probably regret it. The plot was just non-existent, and the characters were dumb as hell, and the author was honestly being kind of racist in their depiction of the only Hispanic characters in the whole book, maybe also the only non-white characters in it. Like, honestly, I cannot remember any details of the mystery or who did it. It was nothing. It was worse than nothing. It was a negative experience overall. Bleh. Bad time. Bad time. I owned this book. I don't know why. Okay, that's enough negativity for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing to my little channel here. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for others. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!